Learn from everyone. Have extreme humility. Listen, learn, and then go do. Be cocky, but be humble enough to learn and put into action. Have outward confidence, but have extreme inward humility. Spend mass amounts of time in competitors' businesses. Pick the right person to listen to. Pick the right learning material and do it over and over again. Listen very closely and then put into action. Make appointments with owners or managers of businesses that you envy. Be humble enough to know that you do not have the answers. The rising tide raises all ships. Learn what ship to jump on. Be worth a damn. Mentors are rough around the edges. It can be hard to work for them. It is the job of the student to get the mentor to teach them. Send gifts to those you want mentoring you. Start noticing everything. Be good at math. Health, wealth, love, fulfillment. Friends, family, romance. Integrate the aspects of your life. Simulate outcomes and choose the best one. You have to toughen up, do something that is hard and out of comfort zone. Luxury will trap you. Save money, only buy the things that you need. What compliments do strangers give you? Figure out your strengths. What can you talk about effortlessly? 4 concentric circles. Innovate your way out of the situation that you do not want to be in. Everything is your fault. Be prepared for what you can anticipate. Prepare for the dark day. It's easier to learn from other people's mistakes. The 2 extremes are not correct. There needs to be a balance. You got to love the grind. You have to work harder than the competition. Life is the grind, and if you love the grind, you love life. You have to change the contrast on how you view the future. Live like you make less money. Save your money until you are ready for the big move. Pick a man on the moon contrast for everything you want in life. We put a man on the moon, you can accomplish any task that is perceived to be difficult. Take something very hard to do and then simplify it. It will be hard, but make it simple. Any problem can be simplified. Read books about social and practice it. Dedicate 1/3 of your income to educating yourself. Great entrepreneurs imagine the world that they want and work to get it. Life is struggle. There is no getting around it. Work hard and be patient. Start subtly reading people. Practical, action, social, emotional. Pace. Figure out what your pace is and practice all 4. Embrace the truth and whatever the truth leads to. The untruthful mind leads to thinking in black and white. Would I be attracted to myself physically? Stop saying what is good and bad. Ask yourself a question, research that question, come up with a hypothesis, test with an experiment. Stand on the shoulders of giants' thoughts. Experiment on everything. You have to have faith and force of will to make the plane go to where you want it to land. Never let obstacles get in the way. Pick your endgame goals. Just picking your goals will be most of what you need to innovate towards it. Nature laughs last. Mind Mother Nature and do not try and beat her. Pick one thing and hold on to it. Pick one industry and stay in it. Winter is a time for learning and resting. Do your research. Spring is a time for planting. It is for trying and testing. Do your experiments. Summer is the time for activity. Research and experiments are done. Now is the time for doing. Put in the work. Fall is harvest and is the time for reaping the rewards. This may not come the first or second year. Focus on a grounded perception of life. Don't be distracted by all of the media and lies. It is harsh, but you cannot make mistakes. Practice redundancy. You have to keep your finger on the pulse of whatever you are involved in. Always think of 3 possibilities: the absolute best scenario, worst case scenario, the most likely scenario, and build plans for all of these. Assume things go wrong and have a plan for it. Research 6 Sigma. Increase the amount of knowledge that you put into your brain. Make war with a multitude of counselors. Increase the level of simulation, the level of planning. Life is just planning and executing. Energy, intelligence, loyalty, and integrity are what you want to look for. Pick someone that you are complementary to. Strong where they're weak, weak where they're strong. If you're not willing to sacrifice 5 minutes per day to plan your life, you do not deserve the good life. Let pain and fear drive you. Jump into it, and the next thing you know, you're halfway done. Do what is difficult when it is easy. Plan out your day. Life is not too short. We make it short by wasting time. Double down and invest in yourself. You have to inject energy into the things and areas that you want to improve. Our life is full of disabling ignorance. We invent rules, and that is why we are ignorant. All of these rules will clutter the mind. What rules am I creating that I don't need to be? Go deeper on all of your beliefs or convictions. Men who manage men who manage things. Men who manage money manage everything. Learn to manage other people, and then learn to manage money. At every turn, you have to manage every vendor that helps you in life. Managing is different than controlling. You're going to have an active role, or you can't hire someone to do something and expect it to turn out the way that you want unless you manage it. You have to have some knowledge and insight to manage. Research and know about things before you manage them. You cannot delegate what you do not know. No one ever has your interest at heart as much as you do. You have to learn a little bit about everything so that you can have insight and delegate. Over-the-shoulder management. Don't micromanage and don't leave them alone. You have to find the balance. Trust, but verify. Before you hire someone to do something, take 10 to 15 minutes to learn about it so that you can manage it. Holding people accountable will increase productivity. In a world of uncertainty, it is impossible to bring certainty to most things. You can do the right thing and still not get what you want. Don't bet on things that are improbable. It is better to have 1 in 10 odds the majority of the time. You must separate the pigs from the innocently innocent. The pigs in your life are unteachable and will bite you. Sometimes, the more you help the wrong type of people, the more it will bring you down. You have to aggressively get rid of the pigs in your life. There are just some people that you will never align with. You have to cut these people out. Don't take the news at face value. Read an autobiography and get the whole story. You have to be elitist about who you seek advice from and who you let in your brain. What do the people who know what they are doing say? If you are only 10% as good as the best person, that's still pretty good. Go straight to the top, and even if you're not doing as well as them, you will still be doing pretty good. You have to be picky about who you let into your space. Even if someone has good advice, don't listen. You want great advice. Don't settle for good things. You want great things. Cut the things out of your life that aren't great. Don't be black and white, but start down a path of progress. You must avoid those things that are irresistible to the mind. Avoid mass intakes of media and sales. Strengthen the mind. Whenever you have something you fear or is taking advantage, flip it and use it to your advantage. Have the realization of how competitive the world is. Land, connections, who you're around. Labor, the skills of you and others. Capital, free capital for you to invest. You can apply these to all pillars of life. You have to have a tremendous amount of skill to succeed. Take MBTI assessment. Personality type is made up of 4 elements. The way you direct and receive energy, either direct towards the outside world or your own inner world. The way you take in information, either real and tangible or the big picture. The way you decide and come to conclusions, either you base your conclusions on logic or on personal and social values. The way you approach the outside world, either with decisiveness, planning, and closure, or with flexibility, spontaneity, or openness. The middle 2 form the core of your personality. You have to determine who you're going to be allies with and who you will compete with. Find out what you're good at. If you don't know what you're good at, spend more time. Strengthen your moat by increasing your land, labor, and capital. Cut out people with distorted sense of self, people that have too high or too low self-esteem. If they get the chance, they will turn around and bite you at your expense. You need your allies to be loyal and stable, that have an accurate sense of self. Build allies that are long-term. You want crocodiles, idiots, trying to cross your moat. It will keep you competitive. Pick the industry that suits you best. You can then pick a specific product or facet. Within that industry, pick the category or product line that is not full of many geniuses. Find something that you have an advantage in and then build a moat around it. If 18% of people support your ideas, you can have the good life. Don't pick a very large category. You will fail. Find a niche. Pick a small, realistic problem to solve, and it will evolve into a huge endgame. Don't try to please everyone. Go after the 18% and then grow it. Don't be afraid to alienate the other 82%. Go after the 18%. Don't do this in a rude or condescending way. Just pursue the 18%. Have an optimistic endgame. See the future when no one else can. Contemplate the downside. Plan for when something goes wrong. 3 types of people. People who make things happen, watch things happen, wonder what happened. The state of wondering is not where you want to be. You have to stop wondering and find out the answers to everything. Be somebody who knows things. In everything you do, ask yourself if you're making things happen or watching things happen. Watching something happening is not a bad thing. It means that you're observing. Wonders do not live the good life. They pass time and don't really live. You have to know a lot of things. If you do not, you will not be impressive. If you want to be successful, you have to be impressive. If you do not know a lot of things, it is hard to be impressive. Ask why about everything. Ask 3 times about everything that you are curious about. Be curious about everything. Your curiosity must go up. You can raise your awareness, curiosity, by making things happen or observing things happen. Be aware of all of the technical things. Don't use the excuse that you are not a computer person. That is a lie. Learn about it. Use the tools around you. It is very beneficial to know about your tools, your car, phone, computer, etc. Be more curious about physical things like fire or gravity. Be curious about biology. That is health and food. Be curious about social interactions like love and relationships. Be curious and be knowledgeable about money. Ask bankers and finance people about money and finances. Be curious about intangible things like music. Know a little bit about everything that you can. You don't have to know a lot, just a basic understanding. Learn the 25 cognitive bias. You can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything, and you can't have it all at once. You have to prioritize the things that you need or want. Don't spend all your time on just one thing. you have to have a balance between injecting energy into health, wealth, love, and happiness. It's easy to do the easy things. You have to do the hard things first. Procrastination is one of the reasons why we prioritize wrongly. Don't be driven by other people's agenda. Don't follow anybody's agenda unless it follows the rules of physics or law of nature. Prioritize by your agenda, what you want. You don't have to read books from start to finish. Read it the way you want, or your own agenda. Distance yourself from people that have strong, unfounded beliefs. Don't be around people that are too much insecure or weird. The bad weird, the type of weird that is unnecessary. Sometimes weird is okay, but most of the time weirdness is just stupidity. Insecurity is the root of treachery. You can't go too weird, or else your idea will not connect with others. To change the mind, you must instill curiosity. Research the 25 cognitive bias, as well as logical fallacies. You must prioritize your life and then invest time and energy into each priority. Investing time and energy is hard work, but pays off. You must be dollar-wise and penny-foolish. You must focus on the most important things first. The miss-waiting bias will affect all the pillars in your life negatively. Go deep and not wide in how you invest. Put all your eggs in one basket and then watch the basket. Do not miss weight. You have to adopt the idea that you will become an investor and an entrepreneur. Investing is more than just stocks. Invest in your brain and your life. Times have changed. There are countless opportunities for investing. If you want a large, successful business, you have to start small. When you're small, you have to treat your business as if it's going to grow. Treat your 5 sheep like you will have 500 sheep someday. You practice on 5 and then scale up. Start small while having the income from your day job. Once you are ready, quit your day job and then scale up your small business. Throw parties or get-togethers at your own place. You will make more connections this way, as opposed to going to other people's parties. People are born in certain ways. Stop being guilty about your natural tendencies. You will find yourself in situations where you will be out of your element and not great for your natural talents. When there are massive changes that you have to make, just focus on the first few feet in front of you. Make a 5% tweak. Nothing janky. Make sure that nothing is just thrown together. Don't be a perfectionist, but don't be sloppy. Be very confident, but have the humility to be very coachable and teachable. Ignore 99% of people, but find that one true master and do everything they say. There is an appropriate cockiness if you lead with knowledge. Failure is relative and is going to occur, but you have to make less mistakes than the majority of people. Learn from other people's mistakes. Find someone who is where you want to be and figure out what mistakes they made to avoid those. Hit a lot of base hits. Don't swing for the fences every time. Gain 5 pounds of muscle in a year. In 3 years, you will not look like the same person. First base in terms of life is stopping the bleeding, eliminating the negative momentum. If you want to gain weight, at least stop losing weight. If you want more friends, at least don't lose any friends and keep the ones you have. Second base is making an incremental improvement. Once you've stopped the bleeding and you're not going backwards, make a small step forward, slowly and steady. Third base is where people start to notice a difference and you start having some positive mood swings and the momentum is building. You must ratchet in success and give yourself time to lock in this new success. You either have to be a master or delegate to masters. You cannot master the wrong thing. This is a mistake. In each area of health, wealth, love, and happiness, you must master the right thing. Mastering the wrong thing is a tragedy. Take a step back to look at the big picture, and then master those things that are consistent with your life goals. When you bring people in to help you master the areas of your life, make sure those people are masters themselves. First rule in language is that you must be understood. Are people understanding what you're communicating to them? Being understood is the foundation of persuasion. Become more sophisticated in how you use language. The point of business is to make a customer where there was not one before. Level 1 business. One party wins at the expense of a second party. Win-lose. Level 2 business. A good business, but there are imperfections once you dig to find them. Level 3 business. People will pay you money and love you for it. Win-win. Level 3 businesses make just as much money, and there is forgiveness from your customers. A good business has forgiveness built into it. Even in health and happiness, go for the win-win. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and accept a win-lose. First rule of business is don't lose money. You must know the fundamentals. Even when you become a master, revert back to the fundamentals. You must have faith, trust, and then action. You must capture value. You must have a vehicle to capture value. Double down on fundamentals. Create value and then monetize it. That is how you make profits. It is good to step away from everything to just think about your life and its issues. Don't let the mind wander. Pick 1 or 2 issues and think deeply about them. You must step out of an issue or relationship or business and look and think about it. Find an issue and ask yourself why 3 times and be honest about the answers. Learn from everyone you meet, even if you are learning what not to do. You have to know yourself to be successful. You must know how you learn. You must know what you value. So much of life is common sense. The inversion tool. If you want to know how to do something, ask yourself how not to do it. You can do this every day for all sorts of things. If you want to be poor, you must be lazy and unreliable. Of all the traits, courage is at the top of the list. You must have courage to do what you desire, even if it is not popular. There is no formula for success. You must have the courage to do what you believe is right. You must also know when to retreat. Knowledge, strategy, execution. Apply these 3 things to anything you want to do in life. Over-optimism will kill you. Constantly be checking if you are being overly optimistic. You have to know everything about your given field. You must be unstumpable. Think about the people at the top of their fields. Would you be able to stump them? To be this way, you must be very curious. You must up the curiosity. You must generate massive amounts of energy and passion. Curiosity must be a habit. You must understand everything in life. Pick that one thing that you will know everything about. If you can master this, you've made it. You will be so impressive that no one will be able to ignore you. If you recognize one of the rare opportunities to do something great, you seize it and do it big. I will not be overlooked. Others must say that you are great, not that you're pretty good. That will bury you. You will not be overlooked by lack of curiosity, knowledge, or stumpability. Today, right now, is as good of a time as any to start being excellent and knowing everything. You must be excellent and know everything. You must be excellent when your opportunity comes. If you meet someone who is truly excellent, it is known immediately and leaves a lasting impression. You must perfect your brain. The aspiration of the earned respect of your peers is a worthy goal. This will get you what you want. You must learn to gulp vast amounts of knowledge. You must learn as much as you can right now. Don't wait. If there's something you know you want to do, be impatient to start. Once you start, you must be patient afterwards to complete. Be quick to start doing the things that you want. You cannot gulp life overnight, but you can start overnight. Be quick, but not in a hurry. Make haste slowly. You must be a master of opportunity cost. When you're spending money, you're creating wealth. It may not always be your own. Build safety into the economics of your life. Make sure you have a buffer. Don't rely on something that is out of your control. Build up social safety and goodwill by giving gifts to many people. Be somebody that an investor wants to invest in. Be impatiently patient. Do what takes time, but start right away. When you're in a room with experts, let them do the talking. Don't yap away. When you're with morons, don't let them do the talking and bring you down. When you are with similar people, find a balance of talking and listening. Be humble with your knowledge and do not become a preacher of it until you truly are an expert. Do not become a dilettante. The most knowledgeable are usually the most silent. Deserve to be called an expert. You must be persistent. Even if something gets boring, you must stick with it. Don't worry about things, just know about them. If you are not a little bit embarrassed to launch your first product, then you've waited too long. You must choose the things to fear. You must fear wasting valuable years of your life. You must not fear what other people think of you. The average person has 2 businesses that fail and a success on the 3rd. Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to what you fear. The only way to get over fears is to face them. You must have a margin of safety in your life, cash, brainpower, etc. You must have a fear of aging. Giving money away to charity is one of the best ways to annihilate fear. You must fear wasting time doing things you don't want to be doing. World's greatest tragedy.